It's Duane Ludwig.
How you doing, guys?
So what's up tonight, dude?
I just got done teaching. I am taking my handicapped pit bull that I rescued out for a walk.
Very nice.
Indeed.
How long have you had him?
I've had her for, I think, 2.5 months. I was down actually in San Antonio visiting my in-laws, and my in-laws' neighbor had this dog just chained up in the backyard.
Oh, wow.
No food or water for days at a time, just very mistreating her. So I scooped her up and took her home. And she got a little bit of a hip issue, so I got to, she needs to make medications and treatments and stuff. But I'm glad that we crossed paths so I can take care of her. She's a sweetheart for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Everything that I do is awesome.
So let's get into the interview. How did you get your start in mixed martial arts?
I started mixed martial arts started when I was just Thai boxing at the time, and Boss Rutan came to Colorado, and he was doing, he was co-hosting tournaments here with the local promoter, and of course I knew who Boss was, and then I was fighting on the cards and just doing Thai boxing, and they also had MMA bouts, but I just started training with Boss, and at the time Thai boxing started dying off, so once I crossed paths with Boss, he started leading me to the King of the Cage and opening the doors for me. So it just started basically because Thai boxing died off, and I went to MMA. But then as that happened, K1 Max started, so then I went back into kickboxing and just kind of been hopping back and forth ever since then. And now with the way MMA is and the UFC, you know, it's obviously the #1 combat sport in the world. So just sticking with MMA now for sure. There's no kickboxing. There's no future in kickboxing now.
Right. So right now, where are you training, and how often do you train in a week?
In a week, probably, let's see, it's 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week, so 18 times basically, almost.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's a full-time job. Well, you know, every time you train is like an hour, hour and a half, but I train here in Colorado. I live here in Colorado, and I train here, and I do my training. Most of my training's at Grudge Training Center. And, you know, we have, like, Shane Carwin, Neil Marquardt, Brendan Schaub, Elliot Marshall. We have a lot of good guys permanently here, and then a lot of guys that come through the door, you know, for a week at a time. And then I have my own school as well, 303 Training Center, and I teach there at night, and I do some jiu-jitsu there and kind of hop around. I do strength conditioning downtown in a place called Forza, so I get work in a lot of places.
Wow, you're a very busy guy, eh?
Indeed, indeed.
Okay. One question I was going to ask you, and if the money was the same in kickboxing as it is in MMA,
if I do MMA,
you would do MMA?
Yeah, definitely. I got kind of bored with kickboxing. You know, MMA, there's so many more assets to it, obviously, and, you know, so many more fields because of the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. You're always learning things. You're always improving. Plus, also, with kickboxing, you're in front of the guy for, you know, 9 minutes straight, just scrapping. So I would receive more injuries in kickboxing bouts than I would in mixed martial arts bouts. Besides the time I broke my ankle, of course.
Oh, really? How long did that sideline you?
I think 6 months.
Wow.
You don't know about that fight? It happened in the UFC.
Oh, really? Was it one of your first few appearances?
No.
Oh, it was recently.
About a year and a half ago, I think, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It was about 2 years ago, almost. Actually, yeah. It was here in Colorado. It was when John Jones fought Brendan Vera. It was on my card. It wasn't a televised bout, but the injury made some sense for sure.
So, did you have to get screws in your ankle or anything? Yeah,
3 screws, but they're out now, and I'm pretty much 100%.
That's awesome. Okay. How'd you get the nickname Bang?
Gave it to myself. It rhymes, or it kind of rhymes and flows with my first name.
Sure.
Describes my style a little bit. Nobody else has it, and it's, you know, it's definitely unique. So I just went and did it myself because I know a lot of people have nicknames given to them, and I don't want someone giving me a stupid nickname. So I just went ahead and kept it up. I'm actually surprised no one's ever used it before. No one I know of.
Yeah, it's a great nickname.
Indeed.
Okay. Who do you like to spar with?
Oh, what's that?
Go. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say my wife gave me the nickname. If you know what I mean. No, I'm just playing. But what do you say?
PG-13, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so who do you like to spar with?
Who do I like to spar with?
Yeah.
In the gym?
Yeah, in the gym.
Well, I mean, all the guys, we have a good crew of guys there. I like to spar with Shane Carwin because he doesn't move around too much, so I can just hit him and run. So it works. That's fun sometimes. But we have a good crew of guys. I don't like to spar with people who run around and don't want to engage and actually get work. People who just want to just kind of just run and not actually burn any calories. That annoys me. But I definitely like to work with guys who actually want to get better, not just play the tough guy role and try to see who's tougher that day, because that usually doesn't work out too well for them. But I like to get better, so I like to spar like a 75, 80% pace where you're actually learning a little bit and getting better as a martial artist.
Okay, the next question I have is, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment in MMA?
Oh, MMA definitely be beating Jens Pulver, because at the time he was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and just the way the fight went down, I finished him in a minute or something, so that would definitely be it, because he's a world title, pound-for-pound fighter at the time, so, that would definitely be it.
Okay. And how important is it to you to finish fights?
Definitely pretty important, but I don't really focus on that too much. I just go out there and fight and just let the fight just kind of flow. Because you go out there and you try to finish the fight too hard, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So as long as you think properly, things will fall into place. But if you look for something too hard, sometimes it's not there. So just kind of just flow with things, I guess, like Bruce Lee would say, flow like water.
Okay, so I want to ask you this question: the Jonathan Goulet fight.
Yeah.
Can you just describe that for me?
Well, it's kind of an interesting scenario because I was at training at the time, and my manager called me and was like, "Hey, the UFC called. They want you to fight." And I'm like, "All right, cool. When?" Since 2 weeks. I was like, "Fuck." So I was actually working. I was up the top of a ladder up in the mountains doing electrical work. And I said, "Sure, let's take the fight." Fly out to California, train with Boss for a week and a half, and the way the fight went down, the counter and the techniques I used, it's not something I ever trained before. It just kind of happened. It's kind of a lucky scenario.
Right.
There was a lot of swimming and technique to it. It wasn't something that I actually ever really trained, so it was just kind of a meant to be kind of thing, I guess. But with that in mind, I was able to finish the fight in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's really cool because I think, obviously that's never been done before in the UFC.
No.
And I definitely like to have that record to be solidified, but we're working on that.
Yeah, for sure, because that should be changed.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so with your last 2 wins inside the octagon, what's next for you?
I fight Josh Neer January 20th in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
The Fox card. It's gonna be the first full UFC Fox card. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. So are you going to be on the main card?
Correct. Yes, it will be televised on the main card.
Great. Okay. And we ask this of anyone. I don't know if you'll have a story, but any street fight stories?
Not too many. I have one kind of funny story because I was training Thai boxing for a couple months at the time, and I was riding my bike downtown. I was going to go meet my brother at this basketball court, and I see these 2 kids on this little retaining wall, and I think, man, I should cross the street. These kids are going to mess with me. And then I decided, man, I can't be a punk. I just got to hold my ground. So I keep riding my bike, and I go right in front of them. And as soon as I get close, one kid jumps off and tells me, "Give me your bike," and swings at me, and I go around it with a punch, kind of hit me in the ribs a little bit. So it upsets me. And I'm like, man, dang. I should stop. I should fight these dudes. But I'm like, well, there's 2 of them. And I was like, no, let's just go, Duane, let's go. And I had this fight, too, so I'm battling with myself as I'm pedaling away. But then I'm like, man, screw this. So then I remember my brother is like blocking half away. I go get my brother. I go back, and then I see the kids are still there. So then I'm like, sweet. So then I turn the corner, and then they see me. They get off the retaining wall. And I tell the one kid, you don't want to take my bike now? What's up? And he's like, what's up? And pulls his pants up, takes his headphones off, and we start fighting. And he made a mistake of having long hair. So I was able to grab it and just digging uppercuts, nonstop, just digging uppercuts. And then I was getting tired, so I switched my hands and grabbed the tail with my other hand and started digging uppercuts. And then I throw him back, and as I throw him back, he kind of hits me with the right hand a little bit. And that was pretty much it. And then his face was all busted up, and I'm just thinking, man, I'm tired now, and he's beat up and he's tired. So I'm thinking, man, hopefully this is it. And I'm like, are we cool? And he's about to cry. He's like, oh, we're cool. So I'm like, all right, got back to my bike, and he gets back in his car, and we left. But I don't fight for free, so I try to get too many fights. But also myself in those scenarios, either I don't drink, I don't go out to bars, and if I go to a friend's party or something, it's going to be with people who are not idiots. And most people know nowadays not to mess with me, of course. So things are good. I don't live in those areas. And I don't put myself in those scenarios. So
right,
it works out pretty well.
Good story.
Indeed, it worked out.
Okay, man. So we got a name game coming up next. I'm going to list off 5 guys. Just tell me whatever comes to mind for them.
Gotcha.
Number 1 is Bas Rutten.
Intense.
Amir Sadallah.
Plotty. There's kind of just lazy footwork a little bit, which is one thing I try to focus on in the fight.
Shane Carwin.
Power.
Trevor Whitman.
Intelligent.
And George St. Pierre.
Athlete.
Okay, now let's play some fantasy matchup here. It's you versus George St. Pierre. What type of game plan would you employ?
I'd go wrestle my butt off, but definitely hit and move, not try to get taken down and held.
For sure.
Something I do in pretty much every fight.
Good stuff. Well, anything else you'd like to mention or to promote on the show, such as your Twitter or YouTube? I got a Twitter account now, but it's Bang Muay Thai. I have a YouTube account. It's Bang Muay Thai, and my Twitter is Duane Bang Com. And that's pretty much it. I'm just creating an affiliate program so we can start teaching martial arts throughout the U.S. And that's pretty much all I got going on. My life involves violence, technical violence, so it's good times. Good stuff, man. And do you have a website?
Yeah, it's Duane Bang.
Duane Bang.
DuaneBang.com.
Okay, great. Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time for us tonight, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother. You as well.
Okay.
Have a good night, brother.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye.